Number 17. Prestige casting was studio strategy. The casting process for this production involved calculations that extended far beyond mere acting ability. Studio executives approached each role as an opportunity to reinforce the film's status. As a prestige event, actors were selected not only for their talent, but for what their names and reputations communicated to potential audiences. Star power functioned as branding strategy in ways both obvious and subtle. The movie was designed from its inception to feel elite and culturally significant in every possible way. Having Audrey Hepburn's name attached immediately elevated the project's perceived importance in the eyes of the public. Supporting roles were filled with distinguished performers whose presence added gravitas and credibility to the production. Wilfred Hydewhite as Colonel Pickering and Gladys Cooper as Mrs. Higgins brought theatrical pedigree that reinforced the film's connection to legitimate stage traditions. Every casting announcement was meant to signal that this would be something special and worthy of serious attention. This approach transformed casting into a form of marketing communication that spoke volumes before filming even began. The assembled ensemble told audiences what kind of experience to expect before they saw a single frame of footage. Prestige itself became part of the narrative the studio sold to the public through every promotional channel. The strategy worked brilliantly, generating anticipation and positioning the film as must-see cinema long before its release date arrived. It demonstrated that who appeared in a film could be as important as what happened in it. Number 22. The ending was softened for cinema. Stage productions often challenge audiences in ways that Hollywood prefers to avoid. The original Broadway ending of My Fair Lady left Eliza's fate more ambiguous, suggesting independence rather than romantic reconciliation with her demanding teacher. When adapting the story for film, the studio pushed for changes that would satisfy mainstream audience expectations. Comfort replaced complexity in the final moments of the narrative. The film's conclusion was reshaped to feel more emotionally satisfying and traditionally romantic than what theater audiences had experienced on Broadway. Eliza's return to Higgins was framed as heartwarming rather than troubling or ambiguous. Her hard-won independence seemed to dissolve in favor of reconciliation with the man who had controlled and transformed her throughout the story. The choice prioritized audience comfort over thematic consistency, giving viewers the happy ending they expected from a big-budget Hollywood musical. This alteration fundamentally changed the story's moral meaning for mass audiences, who would never see the stage version or read George Bernard Shaw's original play, Pygmalion. What had been a nuanced exploration of power and identity became a more conventional love story in its final moments. Critics have debated this decision for decades, questioning whether the softer ending undermines Eliza's journey towards self-determination. The change reveals how studio pressures could reshape artistic vision to meet commercial expectations and perceived audience desires. Shaw himself had fought against romantic interpretations of his work, believing they missed the point entirely. Number 28. The illusion of romance. What the film presents as romance reveals something more complicated upon closer examination by modern viewers. The relationship between Eliza and Higgins contains undeniable elements of emotional control and power imbalance throughout. He treats her as an experiment, a project to be completed rather than a person to be loved and respected. She transforms herself according to his demands and standards rather than her own authentic desires or goals. Contemporary audiences often interpret this dynamic very differently than viewers did in 1964 when the film premiered. Modern perspectives on relationships and consent have made the power imbalances more visible and troubling to watch. What once seemed charming or sophisticated now raises questions about manipulation and emotional dependency. The love story has evolved in meaning as cultural attitudes have shifted dramatically over the past 6 decades. Younger viewers especially tend to question what earlier generations accepted without hesitation. This reinterpretation does not diminish the film's artistry, but adds layers of complexity to its legacy and ongoing cultural relevance. Watching today, viewers experience not just a great film, but a relic of an era that makes its gender dynamics seem notably different from modern standards. Number 25. Legacy bigger than the film. Some stories outgrow their original medium to become part of cultural consciousness itself. My Fair Lady transcended its status as a successful film to become genuine cultural mythology that persists across generations. The transformation narrative, the iconic songs, and the unforgettable characters entered the collective imagination in ways that extend far beyond those who have actually seen the movie. References appear throughout popular culture, often recognized by people who have never watched a single scene of the movie. The influence spread across stage revivals, television adaptations, and countless works inspired by its central themes of identity and transformation. The Pygmalion story it adapted has been reimagined in romantic comedies, dramatic films, and television series too numerous to count. Fashion designers continue drawing inspiration from Cecil Beaton's legendary costumes decades after their creation. The songs remain standards performed and recorded by artists across every musical genre imaginable. Themes of identity, class, and personal transformation ensure the story remains perpetually relevant to new audiences discovering it for the first time. Every generation finds something meaningful in Eliza's journey, from poverty to apparent refinement and self-discovery. My Fair Lady became bigger than the movie itself, evolving into a touchstone for discussions about authenticity, social mobility, and the performance of identity. Its legacy proves that truly great cinema can escape the boundaries of its medium to become permanent fixtures in how we understand ourselves and our society. The film endures not as a museum piece, but as a living story that continues speaking to audiences more than 6 decades after its premiere. My Fair Lady remains one of cinema's most elegant achievements, but its true story extends far beyond what audiences see on screen. Behind the glamour was a production shaped by power struggles, casting controversies, and personal sacrifices that never made the final cut. From Audrey Hepburn's heartbreak over her replaced voice to the technical innovations that made the music possible, the film was built on hidden complexities that only deepen its legacy. The record-breaking budget, the elaborate sets that functioned like cities, and the carefully engineered Oscar campaign all contributed to creating a landmark that would define Hollywood musicals for generations. The movie stands as both a masterpiece and a revealing portrait of Hollywood's golden age machinery at its most ambitious. It redefined what prestige musicals could achieve, while inadvertently marking the end of an era that would never return in quite the same magnificent form. Its themes of transformation, class, and identity continue resonating with audiences who discover it today, proving that truly great cinema can transcend any single generation. If you enjoyed uncovering these secrets, like and subscribe for more classic film stories. Which My Fair Lady revelation surprised you the most? Let us know in the comments.